So we now begin day 4 in building our low poly version of the Sackboy. We talked about building the head with the oil tank, and we've extruded a part at the bottom that's the beginning of where the neck is going to be. Before we go any further, I want to talk a little bit about some shortcuts. In 3ds Max 2009 up to the current version, there's this little box over here. You can click on that box for different views. So we were in perspective view, but it slowly interpolates to the front, to the left, to the top, and so on. So it's a really handy way to navigate around the scene. The keyboard shortcuts are still good. I like to use them to just hit F for front, but those are good because it rotates you all the way to where you're going, so you get a little perspective on the way. The other thing you can do is hit Shift W, and then you get your orbit right there. And you have zoom and pan, all of these things you can do with that Shift W. It's a little quick menu. You can hit the plus sign to get rid of it, or hit Shift W to toggle it on and off. Okay, so we are going to now deal with the body, and for the body we want to use another oil tank, which is in our extended primitives. And once we've created it, you can go to our front view to make sure that we're aligned, and then I'll actually hit L for the left view, pull it up, and so from the side view we can see how big it is compared to our reference. So we'll scale it down. Scale it like that. So now it's about the right size, right? Yeah, that's good enough. Go back to front view. Yeah, that's roughly the size. It's a little wider, but that'll do for our purposes. And actually, since ours has more of a neck than the original version, let's scale that down just a tad. Alright, so now hitting P for perspective view, we got back into perspective view. Let's go ahead and turn on edge faces. And what we're going to be doing here is learning a new skill, which actually you should have learned in yesterday's lesson. So it's actually not a new skill. We're going to be spiraling that skill that we learned yesterday, which is how to attach and weld. So we can see here that both of these oil tanks have the same top cap. So there's the same amount of polygons in the neck and in the piece that we're attaching to, right? So the first thing that you want to do is come into this new oil tank here and add an edit mesh modifier to that oil tank. Because the edit mesh modifier will let us go into the sub-object menu, and again hitting control and getting all of these polygons in here. What we're going to do now is we're going to scale those polygons down so that they are about the right size to be connected to the one above it. Scale them up a little. Yeah, that's roughly the right size. Now we'll go into front view again and go up to the edit mesh level so we can move the entire mesh and move it up. Yeah, so again, there's a little bit of a difference. Let's scale them down a little more. There. Okay. Now, back in the polygon level, we can now, just like we did on the example yesterday, take all of those polygons and we can delete all of them. It looks like I may have deselected them, so we'll go back in here, select all of these guys in here and delete them. Now we'll come up in here and delete all of these polygons. Now we need to come out of that mesh, come into this one, and we see we still have soft selection on for there, so we want to just uncheck that. It's not needed. Delete those. Now, so we can see where these two pieces go together. And we're going to take this mesh, move it all the way up, close to where it needs to be. And then we want to, in our modify menu, we'll go to attach. And then we hover over the mesh that we're attaching, right? And we see the crosshairs. Click on it, boom, now they're attached. So we can go into the vertex level. Now this is something you should have completed in yesterday's exercise, this attaching and welding. So if you are unsure about this, go back to the example with the arch and the box and do that as many times as you need to get proficient. So click on this vertex. We're going to go to target and attach, or target weld there. Target weld, target weld. So you click and then you drag down until you see the crosshairs. Now when I rotate here now, my target is no longer selected, so I have to re-click on target. And we go down and we just repeat on all of those vertices. We got them pretty close. It may take practice to get it to the right size, but even if they're far away, you can target from any distance if you're doing target weld. And that's the last one. Now, as we said before, the neck, we don't really want the neck to be that big. In the original Sackboy, you can't really see the neck that much, but we just wanted to have that since we're creating one entire mesh for our game engine. We want everything to be connected. And there is a neck bone. So we'll do that. Then we can take all of these vertices and scale them up. So really it's up to you to adjust it the way you want to. I mean, I said vertices, I meant polygons. So we took all of those polygons and there we have it. So that is our basic head and body connection now. So what we've done, we've spiraled the concept of attaching and welding vertices from our previous lesson, and we've applied it to Sackboy. And now we have a head and a body. So let's go around and look at it. Alright, now the last thing that we'll do is the smoothing. In this mesh, we'll go to select all. We've selected all of the polygons, and again we'll come down to our smoothing groups, clear all of the previous smoothing groups, and add a smoothing group of 1 here. So now when we render, oops, I think I assigned the other. Okay, so we didn't put the scanline renderer on, but as you can see when we rotate here, it's smoother now. So from this point, we will turn on our edge faces and get ready to extrude the arms, which will be part of the next lesson.